Probably should have waited till you'd sat down.
No, nailed it. You nailed that sit down. Don't worry about it, Noah.
It's just nice to see him actually doing some producer work. He's like,
oh, hell yeah.
I'll get up and turn the camera on today. Welcome back, everybody. Sorry, it's been like a whole month.
We missed you.
Yeah, lots happened. Good things and bad things. I got sick when I went to go see Shane Gillis.
Aww.
Yeah, and I powered through it.
You should have,
in Seattle. Yeah, it's cold as hell. Because Seattle is basically just San Francisco with no homeless people because they can't survive the cold.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they put them somewhere else. But a lot of fun. That was I still made the most of it. Like went to the Space Needle, went to this like glass museum, which is cool. And then on the flip side, I got these sick ass sunglasses. That's why I got to wear them right now. My Pit Vipers. And I found my Fat Boy jeans, so I'm really excited about that. Very elastic, very comfy.
Just full like Tim Dillaning out on the pod.
Today felt great. I was just like, I had put this outfit on, and I was like, this is what I'm gonna do today.
Obviously.
Yeah. Is it okay that you can't see my eyeballs at all?
You know what? I think it's the most comfortable I felt recording our conversations for the internet. Oh, it's our Happy Double Digits podcast episode.
Oh, this is episode 10.
Sweet.
Yes.
Yay.
Nice.
We're going to be double digits until we're triple digits. So for a while.
It's going to be probably at least 89 times. I think the math on that's right.
Close enough. We like
Horseshoes and hand grenades, baby. That's all that matters.
Every 2 weeks, 26 pods a year. So we're going to do.
We're going to be there in like 17 years.
In about 4 years, we're going to hit triple digits.
Yeah, and we're assuming that we're not going to miss another 2 week interval ever again.
I doubt it.
We'll see what
happens. When will
happens.
that ever happen again? But you had a good time. You powered through, even though you didn't.
It was
feel
a great
good.
time. Yeah, no, we made the most of it. I think I had the flu.
Ugh.
Because
did you travel with it? Like you got to. Oh.
No, went on a plane. So I started feeling sick. We were there Friday through Sunday. Started feeling sick Thursday. Friday, woke up, just took a bunch of meds. We flew out early, and because me and my friend Ruben, like we kind of, I don't know, we were just manning it out the whole time. And by that, I mean, like, we could have, like, taken Ubers and stuff places. Because it was, like, 32 degrees, but we'll just walk it. I'm like, we got snow jackets on. We'll just walk it. Which, again, had it been healthy, probably would have been fine. But I was not feeling good and was constantly, like, teetering between caffeine and medicine to feel all right.
Right.
But, again, I paid money. We're not going to not have fun.
Yes.
And so that first day there, we probably walked maybe 3 or 4 miles checking out stuff and ended up at this Pokemon card shop because he's a big fan of Pokemon cards and collecting them.
Fun.
And it's like 5, 6 in the afternoon, and I am the worst I think I've ever felt in my life. I think my body just like gave out. It was like, no, you should be laying down in bed. You should not be trying to find a holographic Charizard right now. And I was like, but my friend needs it, you know?
Yeah.
And so I kind of start falling asleep in the fucking like card shop. And then it's so funny. He gets so geeked about like random shit like this that he's like, okay, I bought 3 packs. You open 3 and I'll open 3. And I'm like, dude, I just want to shoot myself in the head. Like, can we not? All right. But I played along and he's like, you got to do it like cinematic, like turn your hand around. I was like, dude, shut the fuck up. Like, let's just open these fucking cards and see if there's anything worth like you being excited about. Exactly. It was.
Did you record it, or it was just like?
No, it's just for us.
Yeah, cinematography for you guys.
No, exactly.
You're like,
I was like, why are we doing this right now? Like, I don't.
That's very funny.
It was great, and I love him. He's so much fun. He's so much fun. I've been talking about him in my stand up. It's like hanging out with him, like makes me wish I had a boyfriend because like he doesn't. He just takes care of everything. He's like, dude, I got the travel plans figured out. We're doing this. And I'm like, dude, usually this is my gig.
Yeah.
And I, just like girls always talk about, like, I don't think about my boyfriend at the airport. I'm like, I'm like, oh, well, Ruben's got this. I'm just going to just vibe out.
You
like,
just passenger princess.
Yeah, exactly. Now I'm just the passenger princess. I'm like, what are we doing now, dude? Where are we going now? Which is so not me. This is the only time in my life that I'm just like, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
And, one, it's because like he worked for Tesla for a long time and his job was driving Teslas like all around the world. He would collect all the data for self-driving. So no one's traveled more than him.
Wow.
Like from the moment he left college, I think he's like still lives with his folks, but he doesn't really live with them. It's just like where he stays in between going on these like, he was in Germany for like 4 months.
Yeah.
He's in Mexico City for 4 months. Like he's got some great stories, honestly. Like every time he tells me like he almost got locked up forever in the airport in Mexico because he had the same name as like a drug lord out there, and they thought he was the guy. So like he got really lucky that he has Tesla badge on him because they took all of his effects away, but they didn't take his Tesla badge. And so they're like, you need to prove to us like you're an American. And he was like, oh, like
would a drug dealer have this?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but he was like every time he went to that like at the Mexico City International Airport, like he'd always get pulled in, and they'd like interrogate him. So like he's like, I got really used to like understanding the process.
Yeah.
And I guess there's like this secret room there that they try to act like didn't exist because one day they didn't take him there. So he's like, hey, do you guys got to take me to the room? And the guy's like, what do you mean, what room? He's like, no, dude, the one where you waterboard people. Like, do I need to go in there again and like do my spiel of like, hey, I'm so-and-so from this place? All that to say that like he's like the travel guy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, whatever you say is the thing.
Yeah.
That's when I'm in my dumb bitch era. I'm just like, yeah.
Pretty fun, am I right?
It's pretty great.
Pretty fun. It's nice not knowing shit.
Yeah.
Like, what are we doing later? I don't fucking know. I think we're going to do a little magic, open the Charizards. Did you guys get a holographic Charizard?
I think we didn't get a holographic Charizard. There's so many cards now. He was telling me about it. He was looking for one specific card of Pikachu that looks like it was painted by Leonardo da Vinci.
Wow.
And I guess it's part of a set of like 15 cards that are all Pikachu doing different things, looking like Starry Night. And he needed one more to complete his set, and he found it there. So he was excited. He paid like $100 for the card, but now that he has the whole set, it's worth like $5,000 or something. So he was like, yeah, because he probably spent like $400 on Pokemon cards. And I was like, dude, for real? It's like, you don't understand. Like now it's worth like $8,000.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, that's cool.
Yeah, that's
Like,
very cool.
Yeah. So I think he's slowly trying to get me into it, and I just don't think I'm gonna do it.
Does he have intentions to sell, or is he just?
He says he's just a collector, but he
Yeah.
gets really excited when
He's
he's
like,
got.
but now it's worth this.
Yeah. And he's always been that way. He's always been the guy. Like before he started traveling all the time, he's a big car guy and a big shoe guy, and he's not Filipino, which is the craziest thing.
Nice.
Yeah, like you would not expect it, but so he'd pull up to my house in really high-end Teslas because he'd have to like drive them around for the weekend and see what's wrong with them for like these rich people. So he'd just pull up to my house and be like, "We got to go find these shoes that just dropped. Like we got to check all the like shoe stores in the area." And I was like, "Oh, okay." Like I was gonna do laundry, but this is way more fun.
Yeah.
And so we'd go to like what's that New Park Mall. Like we go to all the different malls and try to find shit. He's always like just a big collector guy.
That's nice.
Yeah, it's
I
fun.
think that's cool to like be an adult and get excited about stuff. That's the best.
That's part of the fun. Is that it's just like he's like an overgrown kid when it comes to that, and he gets really hyped about stuff that I couldn't care less about. And I've learned to just like not question it because he's like, oh, I gotta find these shoes, and I'm like, those look like the ones that you're wearing. He's like, no, but these ones have the orange tag on them.
Right.
And I was like, oh,
That's different.
Yeah, that is different. These sunglasses are so cool, but they do not sit on your bridge well.
No.
They keep like I feel like if I shake my head, they're gonna fall off. So I feel like as much I'm supposed to be like, yeah, cool. Like I gotta constantly be like, yeah.
Well,
but I ain't taking them. I ain't never taking them off.
I was gonna say, don't feel pressure to wear or not wear. If you take them off, we're not gonna make fun of you for the rest of the pod. Don't worry about it.
Oh, they're definitely staying. I'm sleeping in these now.
I'll never take them off.
I ain't never taking them off.
We should get you one of those like cords and then like tighten it like super tight.
That would be the
Gotta
take what's supposed to be cool and make it as uncool as possible with the lace in the back. Yeah, that might be the move. Actually, that could be so uncool it's cool.
Yeah.
Like those guys that like unironically wear like boonie hats.
That's where I live. I live in the it's so uncool it's cool, just barely getting by.
Yeah.
I think so. Because my kid is like, yeah, you're cool. And then he was like, oh, yeah, you look 5. I guess, like, I look too young to whatever, to, like, be a parent. And I was like, nah, dude. I was like, this is the land of where we make, like, celebrities out of kids that get pregnant at 16. We're doing fine. It's all right. It's all right. This is the correct age you're supposed to be, I think. Or not. I don't know. we are, it's weird because like my 2 lives are like, I'm an old bee at the open mics. I'm like an old lady. And then I go to like his like parent teacher conference and it's just like, I'm young again. So it's like I get treated like a baby on one end of the spectrum.
How old are all the other moms?
Well, I mean, in our area, there's not a lot of like super young moms. Like in like his elementary school where I would like volunteer a lot, there's like one lady younger than me. So normally I would say that they're probably like 5 to 10 years older than me on average.
Oh, okay.
So putting you into like late 30s, early 40s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah.
What's that like for you, Noah? Because you're like the youngest guy at the mics.
What do you mean?
Like hanging out with all of us that are like 10 years older than you.
What's it like?
Yeah. Do you feel like the youngest or do
yes.
you yeah, you do.
By far, I always do. I was just talking to Michael about that. I was like, man, it would be cool if there was like someone like 22 over here. Sometimes Matt Kennedy comes around.
I was about to say, Matt's like the only guy who's
he's
like
like 24, 25.
I think so.
Something like that. So
I haven't asked him.
Yeah, no, I feel like a child. Like I feel like an absolute child. And it's weird when like I don't know. I feel like sometimes I have to act like not a child because I'm not.
Yeah.
But like
facts.
Like I can't act like that, but sometimes I'm treated like it. But then I'm also
but you
treated
get
like
big
I
dog.
shouldn't.
They don't treat you like a kid in the nice way. They're like they try to big dog you. I feel
Yeah.
like sometimes.
Yeah. So but I'm used to it.
I'm not gonna name names, but I don't know if you've noticed. There's a particular older comic that has been like just been offering unsolicited advice during every conversation. Do you know who I'm talking about?
I think so. Yeah.
Have you noticed it?
Yeah.
It's very much like we could be talking about anything else. And he's like, what you got to do when you get up there? And we're like, I was talking about the breakfast sandwich I had. So
For
like,
sure.
cool,
Yeah.
man. And now I just try to like, I will take it off for this. I just kind of look at him and just go like, thank you. And then I'll go back to doing whatever I'm
Right.
doing, which I think this person and I, we've always had beef because I have beef with everybody that isn't you. But
Yay.
so I was like, I think he knows I'm being a little snarky about it, but it's like right on the line where he's just kind of like, oh yeah, maybe I'm being a bit much right now.
Sure.
Yeah, because it is weird. It is weird. It's just kind of coming out of nowhere.
Yeah. I always just see it like and feel it the most when I'm hosting. When I'm hosting, I'm like, oh, these guys don't respect me at all. I'm like, fuck, like I'm really the kid over here. That's when I'm like, I need to be doing this a lot more often. I need to write a lot harder just to like show like I'm working harder than you. Fuck you.
Yeah.
So like
Is
just figure it out. Like just see it.
Is it
Yeah.
like when you like you'll introduce somebody and then they come and they say like, oh, you're so young, Noah's so young, such and such?
Yeah, kind of. Or like just when you can tell they just don't respect you.
Yeah.
Like,
oh no.
like
They don't always honor his lights, which is not cool.
Oh boo.
When I'm hosting,
Yeah.
you should go because you're gonna get probably an extra 2 minutes no matter what. Like,
Well-
I give the light, they look at me, they're like, "Fucking okay."
If you want an extra 2 minutes and a kiss at your car, he'll just give it to you.
My goodness. Yeah, well, you just got, a little practice in the mirror of just like, no, and then this happens when I light somebody and then it's like, boom, and that's what I'm going to do. So it's just,
Some people just run it though.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah,
it's-
for sure.
They just do it. And,
Yeah.
and I don't know. Even the ones that like it's worth it, it's just like, what is this?
Mm,
What is this about?
yeah.
Is this
I see the light, I'm like, sick. I'm getting down. Bye, everybody. All right. I'm so quick out. What's crazy is like, I always assume wherever I'm at, everybody is my age. And like, I've had to learn that like in the comedy scene where it's like, oh no, Noah is 21. And I was like, oh no, we're the same guy. I was like, for sure. You guys broke the news to me that Matt Kennedy was talking. I was like, I'm just talking to like teenagers now at open mics. And now I'm in my head because the whole time I've been talking to everybody like, you're also 32.
yeah.
And that's not what's been going on. So now I'm like, fuck. Now I'm in my head. So now I'm like, what do the kids talk about? I don't even know.
Well, it is weird too because you do have some people that are older than us that look to be the same age as us, and then you're like, oh, like if you go back to high school days, you're like, oh, I would have been a freshman when you were a senior. That's weird.
Yeah.
That's weird to be like talking to you one on one now, and it is different when you're an adult. But I think about that sometimes because again, like I'm always be starting shit with people, and then I'm like, I'm starting shit with a person who's like 4 years older than me.
Yo, check this out. This fucked me up yesterday. I was like, yo, I was a senior 15 years ago because it's 2025. I'm like, that's fucked up. That shouldn't be allowed to happen.
We're both 2010, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's
I think
crazy.
so. Yeah.
Yeah.
You did. You graduated on time?
I did.
I graduated on time.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you're young.
I graduated early. Yeah. I was put in school early.
I was going to say, yeah. So our kids got the same thing going on. So he's
Oh,
got the young
yeah,
end
yeah.
and stuff.
Dude, I was going to say the one thing to tie it back to like Ruben's like wanting stuff.
Mhm.
I've never wanted any material stuff more in my life than the thing I saw at the grocery store the other day.
Uh-huh.
I took a picture of it. I sent it to Noah. It's an oversized bobblehead of David Portnoy from Barstool Sports. And,
Okay.
and it's
Yeah.
and I think because the sign said it's not for sale, I was like, fuck you. I want this. I want this in my house. I don't know. It's like this big.
What grocery store is this?
Oh, Safeway over there?
Is that a Safeway?
Oh, I'll show you after. It's a high noon advertisement piece.
Oh,
And
okay.
I really badly want to go up to him and be like, what are you going to do with this?
yeah.
Because it's just so, I
know
don't
it's not for sale now.
Yeah.
You're going to take it down.
Yeah.
At one point.
And what are you going to do
And
with
then what
it?
happens?
Yeah.
Right.
I
Mr. Maybe Portnoy wants it back. Dang. I put maybe and Mr. in the wrong spot. It just
That's
kept
okay.
fucking me up. Maybe he wants it back, though. Maybe it's like, I want to keep my collection.
But maybe I want to be the one that has to give it back to him.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm saying. I want to like
That's your in.
TikTok, be like, 500 or a spot on Sunday Conversations, and this baby's back in your hands.
Nice.
Otherwise, let's go to war.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. I don't know. I got to figure out what I would say. I have to acquire it first. But yeah, no,
For sure.
I don't
We're
know.
going to plan that out.
I saw it and I was like, I get it now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've just never wanted anything more. I just want that in my freaking man cave, just so people go like, "What the fuck is that?" And they're like, "That's Dave Portnoy, dude. You don't."
What is that? Who is that?
Who
How
is
about
that? What are you talking about? It's like the coolest
It's
Jewish
always-
guy I know.
It's always what is that and never how is that, you know?
Never. How did you acquire such an
Exactly.
amazing piece?
Just being self-centered, I think, probably.
My brother's friends have a similar, like, size little statue of Captain Morgan. And it's awesome. It was just in their living room, like next to a coffee table, and you can't stop and just go like, "What? How did you?"
It's their statement piece.
That's what I'm saying.
I need a statement
This is
piece for the house.
great. You imagine we just had it right here in the middle of the pod? Like it's not even a sponsor. Like High Noon's not even a sponsor, but it could be.
Yeah,
He could see the vision,
that's what I've been saying.
and he's like, "Oh, I like that." So we might. I'm not gonna confess to a crime on here, but I mean, I'm gonna figure out how to get it.
Are we going to do what we have to do to get our hands on this Portnoy? Yeah, I think we are. I think we are. Whatever that is, whatever that looks like, that's what we're up
You
to.
said, to get our hands.
To get our hands.
Just get our hands on him.
To acquire it for the house as your statement piece. I think that's only right.
In my head, I just see us literally like grabbing it, and as someone tries to say something, you go, "That's crazy." Like,
Oh, yeah. They're just like, what's going on? That's crazy.
that's crazy. Just walk away. We're supposed to remove the Portnoy. Actually.
Yeah, they sent us to take it back. We're up from Fiverr. They were like,
Dude, that would be, oh my God, that'd be so fun. We just get like these High Noon, like full, it was like Dave Chappelle, like the
Oh,
full,
yeah.
yeah. We're just like, we're here from High Noon to collect and they're like, they say you're gonna keep this for a week. Yeah, no, Dave changed his mind.
Yeah.
We gotta take it right now. Like right this second. Like I need you to.
if not, it's going to be in your back
And
room
we'll just have
for
Noah there with a
ages.
clipboard just to add
Yeah,
a little
yeah.
extra. Like, but he never says anything. If they do anything we don't like, he just starts scribbling on the clipboard.
Sure.
Like, oh, you fucked up.
And then
now.
the clipboard is a hidden camera. And then then we monetize. We show Mr. Point and I
Hey, look what we can do.
all the hoops we jump through.
Yeah, and then we get picked up by Barstool.
I can't wait. I'm so excited
It'd be
about
fun.
that.
You ready to move to New York?
I guess we got to do what we got to do.
On this heist, I was envisioning like Jared like being like dropped down from the ceiling and he like grabs it and like pulls
Oh.
it up. Spy Kids mode.
Dude, I would love. I hope I'm
I
strong
love how
enough to do that. Yeah.
it was Spy Kids and not Mission Impossible. For sure. Yeah, absolutely. Just like the Spy Kids did. We love that.
Spy Kids was so. I was so
Oh,
into
yeah.
Spy Kids when I was a kid. I was like,
Mhm.
that's so sick. That's such
My
a
dad
cool,
hates the Spy Kids because when my
the fun
brother
people.
Well, so the like I remember he so bad wanted to go see like a Jurassic Park in theaters. And oh no, it was I'm so sorry, I fuck up the story. It was Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one, Noah, the film.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, I was like I was a super scaredy kid. And like my brother is almost 4 years younger, so he was like, whatever she's talking about, and I was like, I don't want to see pirates. That sounds scary. They're all skeletons. Hell no. What else is playing? We looked in a newspaper. Check this out, Noah. And then my mom was like, oh, they're playing Spy Kids, and I was like, yeah, let's go see that. And my dad was pissed off, like on the phone, just like I want to see to his friends. I want to see Pirates of the Caribbean. All the kids want to go see Spy Kids. Da 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 da. The reason I mixed up with Jurassic Park, the last time they took me to a movie when I was a kid, I didn't want to see Jurassic Park some number, but when they were parks and when they're not worlds.
Right.
And I used to be like, I have to go to the bathroom, and then my mom would take me because it's big, instilled in you. Everybody's going to take you when you're a kid. Mm-hmm. And then so my mom would have to take me, and I'd just be in there just not watching the movie because I'd be like, scary, big-ass dinosaurs. I do not want to see that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Spy Kids.
That's what I think of when I think of Spy Kids. And I also think about how the boy Spy Kid is married to Meghan Trainor now.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Minutia.
I just love that their uncle was Machete.
Mm-hmm.
That's like canon.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if you rewatch the scene, they like kind of allude that's not even just the actor. Like that's supposed to be the character. Machete is their like cousin, their uncle. I was like, that's so funny.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I mean, what was the other movie you mentioned?
Jurassic Park. Pirates of the Caribbean, the
Pirates
first
of the
one.
Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean, the first one, is a legitimately just good movie.
And holds up.
Yeah, not even a good. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's a legitimately like great movie,
Mm-hmm.
and it's so funny because in pre-production and stuff, I heard that Disney hated his portrayal of Captain Jack Sparrow. They had a way different thing in mind, and Depp was just like committed to this thing, and the whole time they're like, "This is gonna be horrible." Because at the time, I mean, he presents like kind of androgynous and like gay, which at the time was like not okay.
Yeah.
So they're like, you can't do that. He's like, no, I'm being drunk, and they're like, no, you're not being like you're being something else other than drunk.
Yeah.
you're putting something on it, and for it to be such a big franchise, because you look at it like Will Turner is like the most boring character.
Yeah.
He has like
for sure.
no personality, which is perfect for a movie like that. It's very much like the Star Wars formula.
Mm-hmm.
Luke Skywalker is just the kid in the white clothing.
Yeah.
Han Solo's the cool one. It's that same triplet setup, but which is also why when he starts getting his own movies, it doesn't go so well. Jack Sparrow should not be the main. You want him to pop in,
Yep.
do a little goofiness, and then get out of there. But no, those first like 2-3 movies were good.
Oh, yeah.
They get progressively a little bit worse, I think, but that first one, you watch that, the sound design, the intro where like he's got the little boat like sink, it's just like, God, Disney, what happened?
It was good.
What happened?
I think the same thing that always happens in franchises. It's like they're going to keep
The money train rolling.
keeping it going. That's
I just
all.
mean they haven't had anything new cool like that though. Like they
Oh, for
haven't,
sure.
Like they haven't created a new hit
Mhm.
with the other stuff.
And all the things that they're doing now are like the live action of cartoons. Like the next one's going to be Stitch, which it's
Ooh.
like, oh, live action, but I'm like, it's cartoon, it's CGI, it's a different cartoon just with people.
That actually seems kind of terrifying. I don't know that I'd want to see Stitch in 3D.
Like Lilo and Stitch.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah.
yeah. We went
Be a
to
little much.
we went to go see something. They had a preview for it, and I was like, oh, okay, for sure. That's all. That's
Like
happening.
A terrifying dog.
Yeah, so it looks like more like, I don't know.
Well, also,
3D,
I mean, you can't just cast anybody to be the older sister.
for sure.
You got to find like a hot Hawaiian girl.
Mm-hmm.
Who they got on deck for that? They're gonna make Ana de Armas like look. They're gonna figure something out. 'Cause,
Mhm.
I mean, come on, the older sister.
If
Nani?
like Zendaya put on some weight, you know, she could.
Hey, throw on some weight Zendaya for this. Maybe.
She
You'd
would
have
fit
to,
the
yeah,
part.
because she's on the Disney like the bench. She's on the retainer
Yeah.
for them.
They just picked up Euphoria season 3, so they just started filming again.
They did?
She's
That's what I heard. I don't know. It was
She's
in
for
Apple
sure
News.
cutting
Do you think
weight
anyone's
right
gonna?
now,
Do you
though.
think anyone's gonna care?
Yes,
For
I'm
season
care.
3?
Yeah, TV is terrible right now. Yellow Jackets. I don't know if you've ever seen this.
Oh no, what's that?
Oh, Yellow Jackets just came back. It's on Paramount Plus, but you need to have a Showtimes, whatever. So, whatever. I forgot. Anyway, it's an older series. We actually watched the whole first season on our honeymoon. Like we were like, nice, we're gonna watch the show. It's so good. It's about this high school girls soccer team, and they're in an airplane, and then the airplane crashes.
Shit.
And then it's like Lord of the Flies, but a soccer girls team from high school.
Oh, okay.
And the first season is gnarly, and the second season holds up pretty good, and the third season just dropped like a couple days ago, and they only do like 2 episodes at a time.
Yeah.
And it was rough goings. So it's like, and I told Max, I'm like, I'm going to continue to watch it because I'm invested to this point, but I was like, we'll see. But I can't say enough good things about season 1 and 2.
It sucks when a show falls off like that.
It just feels like it's happening across the board on like all the things that Max and I loved. Like we also love like not being ironic, love the show The Floor with Rob Lowe.
Oh, I think I've just seen.
Have you seen that? Yeah. Dude, it is so good where it's like there's 100 people on the floor and then the floor lights up and then you battle and then you're just yelling at pictures. I'm so good at it. Every category, every category at home, I'm like, I'm going to fuck you up on this category. That's crazy. I know so many what's in my junk drawer. That's it. It'll be stuff like that. It'll be like your whatever. And you have to be like, what's in your refrigerator? And I'm like, butter. And I'm so good at seeing a picture and knowing what it is for the most part. So that's
your optical acuity is so good.
Very fast.
I can see a thing and know what it is, dude. You show me a picture of a thing.
I see a thing.
I know what that is.
I know what that is.
'Cause some people really break. Some people stare at it. They're like, "What the fuck is that?
They're
What's
like,
going
I
on?"
can't even.
I can't do it.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome.
And they'll do like celebrities for some things. Like one category last week was like female, like celebrity lady country singers or whatever. And this one lady just trashed it. And it was her category, which is embarrassing because somebody's the expert and somebody's the challenger.
Oh, I see.
Obviously. Anyways, really, really good. And it was just about that. It was just about yelling at pictures at screens. And I was obsessed with it. And then this season, I don't know why. I'm sorry, I'm yelling now into the microphone.
I love it. I love the energy.
But we're like bringing it. It's like every other show where it's like, oh, let's bring in like the story of your life. And it's like, no, dude, it's about yelling at pictures at the fucking TV. But they're like, oh, this year we have a couple from The Bachelor. I'm like, this isn't about couples from The Bachelor. This is out of the Bachelor universe. It's supposed to be. And then they're like, oh, this one girl got picked. Oh, guess who's on the floor? It's her mom. And then the mom is like doing the most about like when she wins. Spoiler alert. She wins a duel. And then so she's just like, oh, it's my baby. And I'm just like, this is not. And then Bax's like, we're not going to watch it tomorrow. I'm like, we're going to watch it. We're going to be mad. We're going to hate watch it, but we're going to watch it.
And I like that.
And that's American.
Yeah. Are you going to know everything about these people you don't care about? Yes or yes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Only option is yes. That's what you go with. So yeah. So all the TV is falling apart. I forgot where we started with this, but that was on the top of my mind.
I just want to know who knows texting right now.
I'm doing notes for the podcast.
Oh, okay.
Producing. He's doing
I
like
totally thought you were like.
He was like, Kaitlin knows pictures of things. And
Yeah.
I was just writing down TV is falling apart.
TV is falling apart. It is the saddest thing. I'm gonna keep participating. Oh, but God is good because
Praise God, baby.
Love is Blind is back. Ooh, I love Love is Blind. Are you familiar with the premise?
I believe I am. They do a date blindfolded, right?
No. Well, they're in two rooms. They can't see each other.
Okay.
And the only way you see each other is if you propose. What is the best? It's the best thing. I'm obsessed with this show, and they'll drop like 6 episodes, and they'll drop like 3 episodes. So I have a few more to go. This one so far is kind of like it's kind of tepid waters, but it's gonna be big. It's always big.
It's gonna be so big.
I love that. I love
Huge.
just sit down, have like 3 episodes of a show to watch.
Yeah.
Oh, it's my favorite thing.
I gotta get into watching TV again. I just throw stupid shit up on YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
I've been honestly now it's getting really dark. I'm becoming like an ID channel girl. I found like a couple.
You're becoming your mother.
Yeah, I know. I found a couple of these channels. I was like, I need to know what is going on in Roanoke. You know,
Obviously.
Because one day we might have to go there and be like, hey, we can't. There's a lot of witches out there, and I need to know when they got killed and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know. It's
because that's the riddle. They'll say, "What year was I killed?"
Yeah,
and I won't
if you get it right, they're like,
"You're like,
you may proceed to the Wendy's." And I'm like, "Thank you."
Like, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, Wendy's witch. I couldn't even throw out I was like gonna throw out 18. I didn't want to throw out a number because I was like, I don't want to be dumb about. I don't know when any of Roanoke happened.
When the Salem witch trials were type thing.
Yeah, right.
No, because the thing that I watch, I can't talk about on here because I feel like it'll demonetize us, even though we're not making any money.
For sure.
But like, I watch a lot of stuff about rich people doing really bad stuff, like the worst type of stuff. And you know, the algorithm just starts feeding it. I'm just listening to it on a loop, and I was like, "What? They're also in that part of the world too? Gosh, they're everywhere. There's just so many of them.
Where can I go?
Yeah.
Not Roanoke.
Nope. No, you can't go to England, Pennsylvania. Oh, definitely not Washington, D.C. You can't go Hollywood.
No, that's been
There's a lot. Well, and that's the thing. Like, I wonder what happens to Hollywood now.
You can't even go to Epstein's Island anymore.
You used to be able to go on vacation.
You used to be able to go.
Look,
Places used to not be bad.
Did bad things happen there? Yes or yes. However, the sun-dried tomatoes were very good. And there's nothing wrong with that. My gosh.
Nothing's ever 100% good or 100% bad. There's always
a trade-off.
There's always sun-dried tomatoes.
There's always sun-dried tomatoes, and to get them is not easy.
Mm-mm.
To get some of the best, to get
dried by the sun? Has
Takes a
anybody
while.
even thought about that?
takes a while.
Gotta let the sun do its work.
You know what's happening online right now that I've been noticing is a lot of people are popping up just talking mad smack about the Rogan sphere and getting really big.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I'm realizing that like it's such an easy thing to do. Even like at the mics that we go to, one of the easiest forms of comedy is just looking at what someone else said and go, that was bad.
Mm-hmm.
It always does well. You can do it. And I do it a lot. I do it a lot as a host when it is generally, but I'm just realizing right now how much of a get out of jail free card that is.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, that sucked, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And I think that like that's like transitioned on the internet where people are making entire like careers now. There's this guy, and I guess maybe it's bad to give him a shout out, but I don't know that I hate watch it, but I do watch it to go like, why is this working? I'm like genuinely just like, because I don't particularly think it's the best form of this, but this guy named Lion Meows started like back in February. He's already got like 5,000 to 10,000 subscribers, I think.
Wow.
And all he does is make the weirdest videos of like, Rogan might be gay, and then he just finds like 4 or 5 clips where Rogan said something that was vaguely gay, and he's like, isn't that crazy, dude? And it's like 300,000 views. And I was like, just because he's using Rogan's like likeness.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, well, there are probably some legitimate criticisms about like what Tony Hinchcliffe and Joe Rogan's influence on comedy has been. And I get that not everyone on the internet wants to hear like this like intellectual take on it, but he's going so low that it's like almost unfair.
Yeah.
Like, and this is the thing about like, I think the internet, that if you're trying so hard to take somebody down, it's easier to just make shit up almost. Take a small thing and make it into something big than actually go in and be like, no, this is why this is a problem.
Yeah.
Like, I've talked about it before, the idea that I think as much as Kill Tony's like an entertaining product, it's doing something bad for stand-up because it's creating, it's rewarding us only a particular type of stand-up, and it's not letting the other types like kind of flourish.
Sure.
So we're going into this era. And I don't know if you saw Tony Hinchcliffe's new special. It was aptly named. That's what I'll say.
I just think you can say that about any aspect of comedy, right? It's like, and that's the thing too, is like, I think that there is something to be said to like try to be at least decent at every aspect of it. So like mastering the 1 minute, mastering like being the character. But I mean, you could say the same thing about like crowd work clips, you know, like how prevalent
and
is
I
that?
do.
Yeah,
I would.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's like, yeah, for sure. It is doing a specific thing. It is, you know.
I just don't see us producing any more like Burrs, Carlins, Louis C.K. I don't see any incentive for that. I don't know that I care about that. Like, I don't know that if I treat stand up like the art that it's like treated like, but I'm just noticing. I was like, where would someone succeed in today's landscape that is like that? How is that going to work?
Yeah, but it's also like it's not that world. Like there is actually a Joe Rogan quote that I see on Facebook. Facebook says that Joe Rogan said it, so I think he said it, but he said something that was like, and it was a parenting quote, and I like those. I get a lot of those in my algorithm, but it was like, you can't parent the way that your parents parented you, because you would be parenting for a world that no longer exists.
Sure.
Right? So it's similar to, I think it's kind of similar to that. In like it's like, can we even have a George Carlin in this day and age where it's like everybody is so prevalent? Like the original, like paying your dues and like doing the scene and like just having a great special, and it just comes out and you can be whoever because there's just not that many specials out, versus everybody puts a special out. Everybody puts their crowd work clips out. And so it's like, and what's exciting is like, I'm a weird optimist where it's like, yeah, I think we will. And it's like, I'm excited to see how that person like breaks through and does that, because that's the whole thing, is it's like, how do I break through what everybody's doing, which I think you have to be a little bit good at all of it. It's complicated. I'm taking a lot of comedy classes right now, so it's like a lot of it is like, you got to play the game, you know?
Oh, for sure. And I'm not faulting any of that. I think my thing is, if we're going to call this an art form, what is the highest form of this art form? And I think of those guys that are like, their specials aren't even just, they're beyond funny. They're like really poignant and biting for like their time. And it's like, that's not rewarded right now. That's not at all what anybody is interested in doing.
Yeah.
And so does that mean the entire art form, is it almost like a post, like, and I'm throwing a lot of weird words here, but it's like when Pablo Picasso started doing Impressionism, he stopped trying to make what life really looked like and started like just putting his feelings into a thing. And like all those art people were like, yo, what the hell is this? This is like my kid could do this. Then you go all the way to Jackson Pollock, who's just literally like, I'm just going to throw paint on a canvas and like you're supposed to get that like this is how I felt. And that's what it's about. Is that what's happening? I feel like we're going into an era where like there's just a lot of Jackson Pollockiness going on.
Sure.
And it's like, yo, can anyone make a painting of me that looks like me? Can anybody do that? Does anybody want to do that right now? And everyone's like, no, this is what's cool.
Yeah.
Like just throw paint at the wall. And that could be that's a crowd work thing. And it was like, no. Throw as much paint on the wall as possible. Somebody will buy it. And as long as someone's buying it, you're good. You're doing a good thing. I don't know. When I think about it from there, I'm like, this is kind of a bummer because it would be cool to see. There's that kid. He's a black kid, probably like a little older than me. Josh Richards? Can't remember. He's at least trying. He's like, I think he used to be a writer on some show. Can you look this up, Noah? Comedian Josh something. It's a black kid with dreads. He puts out like a 20-minute, 30-minute video on like topics, and it's stand-up. It's like recorded stand-up of him talking about like Luigi Mangione.
So hard to have.
Josh Johnson?
Possibly is what does he look like? Yeah, that's him. Josh Johnson. Yeah. So Josh Johnson is at least like trying to talk about like stuff going on in the world and making it funny. Does he always hit? I don't think so. And I think it's just because of the rate at which he's trying to put stuff out. Like it's coming out as things are happening. So it's very rough jokes.
Is it the video Josh Johnson on comedy and mental health in the age of social media?
He's got, like I said, he literally puts out probably 20 to 30 minutes on every big story, like all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you look at his YouTube channel, it's an attempt at almost having like mini specials for everything. Like again, like Luigi Mangione, Trump's first week in office, like Elon with the whole Doge thing. Like he'll have 20 minutes on it. Is it the hottest 20 minutes you ever heard? No, but I'm like, at least he's like trying to, and maybe I'm answering my own question as I talk this through. Like, I don't know. I hope it works out because at least the art form is being serious. If that sounds weird, like it's not just like goofy. I don't know. I was really disappointed with Tony's special.
Well, I think you got to work hard to try to have an original take on something. So it's like to this guy's credit, and I think I'm familiar with who you're talking about, just in like the YouTube Shorts world. But I mean, yeah, you got to put something out when it in real time. Like something has to happen. You have to be out that night and talk about it and film it and put it out to be a guy with an original take on something.
Yeah.
So you're not doing that.
Not doing that.
What are you doing?
I'll say this too. I think what's disappointing about Tony's special is that I don't think Tony's a bad comedian. I don't think he put any effort into it. I don't know if you watched it. The first like 15, 20 minutes, he's literally just like, I don't know. Did you watch it, Noah?
Yeah, I watched it.
What did you think at the beginning? I feel like he was just doing like a lot of pandering to his audience.
Yeah, I just thought it was very, well, he was doing, it's just based on one story, technically, the whole special. And he's putting as many punchlines and bits into the story as he can, knowing that it's probably just going to be his audience watching. I don't know. Like, it just seemed like...
It was very much for his fans.
Maybe
that's what I'm trying to get at.
It just felt,
he's
for
like,
me,
Puerto
like,
Rico, am I right? And everyone starts laughing, and he's like, Trump's vote went up 27%. Another laugh. And I'm like, this doesn't like count, though. I don't know. I don't know if this is like...
I think he knew he didn't have to try.
Thank you. That's exactly what it was. It went in with like, I am the tastemaker of this era of comedy, so you all can just shut up. And I was like, okay, well.
Mark Norman put out a really interesting, I think it was kind of like a docuseries. I caught his interview with Joke World. Are you familiar with Joke World? You know what? I forgot to tell you? I met Joke World at Skankfest.
Nice.
Dude, I was so stoked. And we were like, he literally was standing, he was like, I don't know how to do any of this. And then I was like, are you Joke World? And he was like, yeah. And I'm like, a girl who I'm like, oh, dude, you're Joke World. And then so he was like, yeah. Then I was like, oh, okay. I was like, so I'm like, this is what I know. And then I just tried to like run down like all the rooms. And I was like, yo, we talked about Snake Pit. I didn't tell you about how I met Joke World. That was so dope.
Yeah.
Anyway, super, super nice. And he was like, oh, okay, thanks. Cause I was like trying to like show him how to get around. I was like, no, thank you. Cause that's like who I'm like, for real. I'm like, thank you. I watched so much of his stuff. His stuff just constantly comes up.
He is like the Levi Strauss of the comedy world now.
I don't know who that is.
Levi Strauss created the jeans when everyone went to California to pan for gold.
Mm-hmm.
So he made a bunch of money selling. He didn't pan for gold himself. He created tools that people needed. So he ended up making a lot of money. And that's what I'm saying. Like the comedy world has become, if everyone trying to do comedy is the gold miners, like Levi Strauss was, again, or he made jeans, but the other person who made a lot of money was the people who sold shovels.
Sure.
Like there's all these different weird jobs now, comedy adjacent. Like he's like, I'm going to be the premier journalist of stand-up.
Yes.
And it's like,
I agree with this take.
very, very lucrative and awesome. Gets to almost kind of live that life in a without the pressure of having to be the funny one.
Yes, but it's like I do feel I met him that one time at Skankfest. We talked for like 3 whole minutes, but I do actually, just from his videos, I feel like he really does like care about comedy, and like I super care about comedy too. And I just like, I think that what I think is his appreciation for it is just like all.
This is gonna sound like I'm gonna push back on you now.
No.
What does that mean to care about comedy?
Because I don't think everybody cares. I think it's, you know.
I don't think the people doing it care. That's my point.
That's what I think.
like how can you care when the people that are leading it do not care?
Well.
And that's my question. Like, what are you looking for then? Like, when you say that, what are you looking to see?
It is just somebody that like appreciate, like they'll ask questions. The whole thing I was getting ready to talk about was he interviewed Mark Norman, and the questions that he asks are so like thought provoking. So he's asking Mark Norman, which I thought was a really like important take to like the Tony Hinchcliffe thing. Maybe I didn't see it, but maybe like playing to his audience is that Joke World, and I don't know his name, sorry, Joke World. He asked Mark Norman, he's like, when you get to be at your level, are you just performing like at your shows, or do you think that it's important to also like go to places where they might not know you? Like go just randomly get up at like the Cellar or whatever, and people aren't there to see you specifically. And he was like, and he told him like, that is such a great and thoughtful question. He's like, yeah, you need both. He's like, sometimes it's nice to do it for your guys, the guys that come see you, because they're like, they know you, and it's like they're gonna understand where you're coming from. But he's like, you need to make sure that it works in front of people who don't know who you are.
Yeah.
So anyway, that was my whole spiel about Joke World. But yeah, I do think it's just that I think he just has an appreciation. I think you can have that appreciation for anything. And I think a lot of the times I think of it as like I just don't really listen to music outside of like exercising. That's the only time I listen to music. Other than that, I'm listening to podcasts. And before podcasts, I used to just listen to specials that I liked, like in the car or whatever. So it's like, I just think that, I don't know, something where it's like, this thing is helpful to me. And so comedy has always been that thing for me. And I'm not going to go that far with Joke World, but I do think that he at least just very much cares about the art form.
Yeah, I don't think he's trying to sell out. I didn't mean to.
No, I didn't take it that way either.
It's totally what you meant, and it's fine. I'm not going to let you do it to me.
Well, you know, just on the camera.
No, I do. When people say that all the time, I don't know that I can even share that, because I don't even think I understand the sentence. When you're like, I care about comedy. I'm like, how can someone care about jokes? I don't know. They're inherently not a big deal. I get that people can like it. I could understand the sentence like, I just really enjoy consuming comedy. But like saying I care about comedy, I go, what the fuck does that mean?
Well, because comedy like saves lives in a way.
For sure.
Like,
yeah, no, for sure.
Comedy to people is more than just the joke. Like, it's what the joke means to you in so many different ways. Like how you can relate to that joke and be like, you know what? Like with fucking like Sam Kinison, he said terrible shit and people liked it because they're like, oh, like he's going through all that, I'm going through shit, like we're all going through something together and we can all laugh about it. And
so okay, so comedy as just a connective, like,
it's a way for people to feel together in a way, and you all have your own person.
No, I can get that.
Yeah, I think
that makes sense. I don't think that's what a lot of comedy is now, though, and that's my point.
No, that's not
if that's what you liked about it, then you must be pretty upset with what's happening now.
It's upsetting
because it's not. That's not what it is.
Yeah,
and not to like get on a soapbox here, but that's where I'm like, if people, because you hear this all the time, I really care about comedy. Like, then I hear your act, and I'm like, I don't think you do. I'm sorry, I don't believe you. And that's not to say that what you're doing isn't funny, but it's not meaningful.
Yeah.
It is so not meaningful. My shit's not very meaningful, and I don't pretend to make it meaningful. I'm not trying to do that. There's times where I have something I really want to say, and you can see that happen randomly at a mic, but I don't aim for that. Like, and I don't know. I hear what people say it is to them, and then what they're doing. You're not this person, but I hear this all the time, and in my head, I just go like, what are you talking about? Like, I don't know.
I think that there's 100%, there's like the connectivity to other people where it's like, yeah, I'm fucked up. I think fucked up things. So does this other guy. Oh, that's so crazy. You also think that crazy thought? I was like, yeah, that's me too. I'm also doing crazy stuff. I 100% appreciate that in it. And I do actually, it's a big reason why I like Noah, because you kind of tell that he does have that care for comedy. I also think there's a huge component, at least for me, is like the escape is like being able to escape into comedy. So it's like I have a lot of my own stuff going on, and it's like I remember, and I think we've talked about this briefly, but it's like I remember in the pandemic just like being at home, and it's like I already got stuff going on top of like I'm only by myself now, and it's like my head was like not a safe place for me to like be. So much to the point where it's like I would put on podcasts. I would not like get in the shower without putting like a podcast on, because it's like I can't be in the quiet. Like I need to I need to hear. And then it's like, and I love podcasts. That's why I'm so excited that we have one. But it's like I love hearing just other people just talking about themselves and their lives, and it being kind of funny. And it doesn't always have to be like super funny, but it just is just, for me, it's like I run so anxious that it's like I've noticed that if I'm laughing, I cannot be anxious. Like you can't physically do both things. So it's like if I'm listening, I'm paying attention to what I'm listening to, and then I'm laughing at it, it's like, oh, we're cool. It's like everything's actually fine. Everything's actually not terrible. So it's like I think it's the connection piece, and I think it's also like the escapism piece where it's like I buy tickets constantly to go see comedians that I like, that Max likes. And it's like we go there, and it's like that's what you're focused on. You're not focused on anything else going on in your life. You're not focused about what's going on with your kid, what's going on at work, what's going on you don't work anymore and you go to TJ Maxx all the time, and then somebody was rude to you today. You don't think about that because you're there and you're just listening to this other person like go on about like their experience. So,
that makes perfect sense.
Oh,
I don't think I've ever. I don't think I've ever considered that at all.
Oh yeah, I'm about to cry, and I'm not because I'm
Me too.
cool.
It's
don't
insane.
cry.
God, guys, shut the fuck up! Don't, dude. We got 15 more minutes. Lock in.
Okay, all right.
Jesus.
Yeah, no.
Max and I are about to smack you guys
So
upside
whatever.
the head.
I'm just a chill guy. Comedy's cool.
There we go. How about them birds? Guys?
Yeah, good for them.
No.
Yeah, no, that was good. It was a good. You want to jump into the Super Bowl?
No, I don't. I want
to Yeah, no, but so I can't, and I think a lot of people do that with music. So I always kind of equate it to that. So it's like one of my best friends, he is so deep into music, and so it's like that's what he's doing all the time. I do that with comedy. I'm constantly listening to it. I'm never not listening to it. And then it's like also to the piece where it's like so much of our experience right now, because you were talking about like that's maybe not what's going on. So much of what we see is open mics, and it's here, and it's, you know.
For sure, but you also see what's online.
Oh, absolutely.
And I'm just saying most of,
Yeah.
And I, again, maybe my particular taste of what I want to see and what I think is the highest form of this is just not being put out there.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going like, whoa, this is garbage. Like, and when I say it's garbage, it's not that it's not funny.
Yeah.
It's just like junk food.
Yeah.
It's just so much like, I think Chris D'Elia is so funny.
Yeah.
He makes me laugh so much. His comedy is dumb. It is so superficial, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
I think that's my like you the way you just described that. Like you like having the way I understood what you said, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. What fucking
I was like, oh no, Jared's crying too.
No, I'm just a little heavy, and sometimes I can't breathe.
The glasses is putting a lot of pressure on the nose. It's okay.
What I heard there was that I think the big thing was you said like when I'm laughing I'm not anxious.
Yeah.
So putting this stuff on is soothing to you. And that makes a lot of sense. That means what you're just looking for is like other people that are like kind of helping you not think about your own problems.
For sure.
And that's not nothing. I'm not taking that away from people. What I think I wanted or get most interested in is either like, I want to see stuff so stupid that I can't intellectualize it, because that's my problem, is that like I like to have things make sense. That's why I love the Eric Andre show. Like it's just like, it breaks my brain. I just can't keep up with it, and it's fantastic.
Yes.
But I wouldn't sit there and be like, this is the highest form of comedy. It's like, no, this is the junk food that I like to consume.
Right.
And I don't know, that middle tier thing for me, it just doesn't speak to me. It's like, oh, you're almost attempting something intelligent and you're falling short. And I'm like, ugh, kid, that's like mid. It's literally just mid. It's like, oh, stop. Don't do that. Either go write this down, have a wonderful take. I mean, that's why I like Tim Dillon, is like, he's the only guy I know who can riff off the cuff and actually say something that's like important.
And important on both sides.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
It's like, he's like, this is it. It's bad. And then he goes bad. And he's like, but it's also good. And it's like, both arguments fucking slap.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I don't think he's getting enough credit for that. But then also, again, for his best thing is the podcast thing. Yeah. If we only got to hear him for an hour every other year, like that would suck. So it is weird. And I've said this on the pod before. I think he is our George Carlin. Yeah. But I also think like we can't appreciate it that way anymore. And I think he gets that. So it's kind of fun. Is I think he constantly is not necessarily at full tilt, because he's like, why would I? It's almost like he can sprint, but he knows he has to keep running a marathon. Yeah. So he's just like trying to find that like good pace. And you're like, God, I just want to see you just fucking rip it though. Just rip it for like 2 hours. He's like, nah, I would never. Yeah, no. I would never do that for you guys.
His blood pressure is too high.
I can't.
Gotta bring it back down.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's we learned a lot today.
Yeah, no, and I mean, I'll even like, just to like keep being so lame about comedy, I'll connect one more further piece. It's like, it's through the escapism. I'm listening to somebody and they say something that I fully am like, oh yeah, I also do that weird thing that you're talking about. And then it's like, oh, maybe I'm a little less weird because this guy that I appreciate so much is
What's
weird
the fear
too.
of being weird?
I don't know. What is the fear of being weird? I guess it's like, it's a very human, like, I'm different than the herd sort of a thing.
And what's so wrong with that? I don't know. I think maybe my brain's a little broken. I felt like I was weird really young. Like I remember in like middle school being like, oh, I'm not going to be able to hang out with the popular kids. I wasn't mad about that. I was just like, I'm just going to have to do my thing. And I just like tripled down into like whatever my thing is, I'm going to have to make that my thing. Cause I didn't see any real consequences.
Well, I mean,
I think it's a worse hell trying to fit in if you don't. Like watching people try to like, if they're like the not right puzzle piece for a puzzle and like trying to, that to me looks like way more of a hell than just being like, I got to go find where my piece is. I don't know. I don't get why people do that. Maybe that's what I'm asking.
I think it's just the judgment part of it, maybe. Like,
but don't you think those people are idiots too, though?
Yeah, like I think it's
like
just
genuinely like there's very few people I respect. like I don't know, like I just don't. We can all just be shitty together. I don't know, like you're shitty in your way, I'm shitty in my way.
It's kind of what we're doing right now. Yeah, exactly. What's nice about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it really just depends on how you grow up and how you're able to take judgment. Yeah. Like how, like depending on how you were judged as a child, sure, I think that's gonna affect a lot.
100%.
I think that's just how it is.
I think I just got to just fucking power train. My mom can be very judgmental sometimes, and I had to be like, "You're not right about things all the time." In that moment, just like, yeah, ironclad. Now, like, if I don't care what my mom thinks, I definitely don't care what you think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, also in like the time that we've known each other, it seems like you have a really nice relationship with both of your parents.
Oh, I do, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like you maybe were like allowed to be like, hey, I do this weird thing because like you maybe got like unconditional love, and they were like, that weird thing rocks. And your mom could be like, that's not the right way to do it, but like you mentioned, you know, so it's like also having that.
I totally understand that there were some things that kept me from having the same neuroses as other people.
For sure.
But my thing is like, like right now, you're an adult.
Yeah.
You're able to think for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You're also able to criticize from an intellectual place those people that like you used to worry about.
Sure.
So what does that feel like? Why can you in like the academic sense be like, that person's also messed up, so why would I care about what they think? And also fight the inner child that goes like, I want them to be happy. Like, what is that experience like? Because I think for me, it's just very much like, then that doesn't mean I'm completely impervious to it. Sometimes people say something and it hurts me, and I go, you know, if I really think about this person though, like I don't even give a shit about them at all. I just didn't like that they made me look stupid in this moment, and I need my revenge, and I will plot my revenge.
Sure.
After I get the David Portnoy statue. That's my next thing on my list.
Doing
But
a lot of plotting today.
there's so much plotting to do.
Too many plots afoot.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, I feel like you constantly fight to be in your own corner, like mentally.
Oh yeah.
And my question is why?
I don't know, because I'm instilled in me that it's like, nope, your corner's wrong. Like, and so it's like I'm constantly fighting where it's like, maybe it's not wrong, and let's try to operate from the world from this. So yeah, it's tough.
It's crazy because it seems I don't think anything's been more evident in any time ever than now that is clearly the way to go.
Oh yeah,
because that's like Donald Trump's thing, and that's like right, wrong, and different. The man will just always win.
We see it working.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like it worked with Conor McGregor. It works with like you look at these like crazy charismatic people that can be so clearly incorrect in certain places, and then it's like nope. Yeah. And I think the thing is, if you really sat them down in a non-attacking place, they're like, yeah, no, I definitely fucked that up. But they also know, like, I can never admit defeat because, one, that hurts me. That just, like, if there's a probability of me succeeding, I literally sound like Trump with this because I'm trying to think of, like, a gauge.
More this,
if there's a probability of me succeeding, as soon as I doubt myself, I half that probability. So why wouldn't I just delusionally believe in myself?
For sure.
It's just the best way to roll the dice. And you see people do that all the time, and clearly it works.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. It's
100%. No, that's what I'm trying to like make myself believe, you know, because it's just like I go into everything where it's like, you can't do that. That's not going to work, or that's too, you know, this isn't maybe the crowd to try that or whatever. And it's like, I try to insist. So I have to like, that's my default. And then I have to be like, I have to like insert some Trump where I'm just like, no, whatever, you could do it, and it's whatever, and it's fine, and what you think is probably what they think, and da-da-da-da-da, you know, so it's like, I have to, like, that's not instilled in me.
Sure.
So that's like that's not a default setting in me, so I have to go out of my way to be like, maybe let's go in like we can do it, and let's just see what that's like, and so I'll be like, let's just get the data on if I act this way, what happens, and I'll be like, okay, I can understand it that way. And
when it works out, I mean, does that embolden you, or do you just go like, I got lucky?
I think it is emboldening me for sure.
Because sometimes I'll do stuff and like, again, up until it's done, I'm like, I could totally do this. And then it happens and I could be successful and go, whew, I got really lucky. That shouldn't have worked out. But like, I also, I don't know. So when I was younger, I've almost died 3 times. I've been in almost 2 really bad car accidents. And I've never lost sleep over them. Sometimes people like almost die and they go like, oh shit, I could have died. Like my brain immediately goes like, sick.
Yeah.
Made it again. Yeah. And like people were telling me like, cause there's one time I almost got like completely like T-boned. It would have been really bad had this person just not hit their brakes like a second earlier. I would have been paralyzed, totally fucked up. I was like 22 and people were like, I had people in the car with me and they were like, dude, like, how do you not think about that? Like literally like your whole life could have been over. And I was like, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I don't know how to, it just didn't happen. So why would I sit here and stress about it and like suffer in my head over something that didn't happen? But some people really do sit with that. And I just, I don't know. It really, it confuses me because I just look at it as like, now you're hurting yourself.
Yeah.
And I see people hurt themselves mentally all the time. And it's like, why you do that?
Yeah. Well, I don't know, because we like it. I don't know.
And that's such a good answer, though.
I know.
Because it's like, yeah, maybe you do feel the comfort of like, I don't know.
There's this quote that's like, anxiety is like having the worst case, like the best case scenario to anxiety is having the worst case scenario happen to you 2 times. So it's like whatever you're worried about happening, and then just like the anticipation of like, oh, this thing is going to happen, you're making it twice as bad for yourself. Yeah. So it's like, I think, and just, I mean, since we're going to get super serious on this podcast and this is not goof around fun time, I do think that there is like a level to me and to other people that's like, I'm addicted to like negative thinking. I'm addicted to like making myself feel bad with the possibilities of, you know, whatever could happen or whatever is my biggest fear about something. Let me think about that. I'm going to continue to think about it because that way, if this little possibility that could happen in this thought, I'm going to be ready for it. I'm going to know how to feel. I'm going to know what to say. And spoiler alert, I never do. I'm always wrong.
Yeah. I think that's so normal.
Right.
For a lot of people. And I just don't, I guess I feel such a dumb thing to say. It was like, I can't relate and it pisses me off because I just, no, it's because I want to understand people better and I can hear this.
We should experience the world different. And then again, it's like, I think we should be different on a lot of like.
No, let me watch your kid.
You're not gonna be worried at all about the bad things that are gonna happen. You're not thinking about anything. You're like, let's light all the candles.
Miggy, you know what would be really fun? Not giving a fuck today.
Yeah, let's go get the Charizard.
Let's go get him, buddy. Yeah, here, like use Max's credit card. It'll be fine. He can recover from this. Live a little. You're gonna make your dad a lot of money.
Yeah, no, he's no stranger to that for sure.
Just tell him it's an investment, kid.
He loves investments.
That's funny. No, it's thanks for going under the, you know.
For sure. No, and it's, you know what's crazy is like it's something I've really been thinking. I try to put that down quietly every single time. It stresses me out so bad. I've been thinking a lot where it's like I had a really hard time starting comedy because I really like for over a year I had a damn it. That is the opposite. See, we should experience the world different. But I had a really hard time starting comedy because I was like, nobody's gonna care what I have to say.
Yeah.
Or nobody wants.
Isn't that freeing?
Or is it? No, because it's like it's like you get, you know, bold enough to say something. You'd like for people to be like, yes, that's a thing. You thought that. So yeah, and I had a really hard time with like, what would I talk about? Nobody wants to hear about my life. Nobody wants to hear about my kid. Nobody wants to hear about my husband. Nobody wants to hear about my job, so on and so forth. And it's like, but when I think about the people that I love doing comedy at like the highest level, that's all they talk about. Like nobody that I love is like giving hot political takes or is talking about like the most up-to-date, you know, tragedy that's going on. Everybody that I love is talking about their families, is talking about their fucked up experiences growing up. So I don't know. I try to be like, well, you like it when they do it and you can just practice and try to get good at doing it. So maybe other people would like hearing about yours. And for the most part, that is the stuff that I do that works. Is like, hey, this is what happens at my house. And people are like, funny.
Yeah.
Sometimes that happens at our house. Or that's very unrelatable. That sounds like a silly house. And it's like, both. Both are true.
Right. It's Skarsgård.
Yeah. That's it. Skarsgård.
Yeah.
It's a fun game.
It sounds fun.
Mm-hmm. We should play. We still haven't watched any movies and reacted to them.
I know. So many things we haven't gotten to.
Mm-hmm.
Once Ronnie's really settled in here and I don't have to take every free moment.
She's going to love your statement piece.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's going to go in my man cave. Like, that's where I get to be me. I already told her she gets the rest of the house.
Nice.
It was a good negotiation. She gets 80% of the property. I pay for it.
Correct.
It'll be cool.
Those are the correct answers.
It'll be cool.
We like that.
No, I'm kidding. She is going to help out with that type of stuff. But
yeah, of course.
I wonder if that got in the pod.
I hope it did.
So
Sideshow outside of Jared's house.
They really do. People like just that street, that curve. It's called a turn. I don't know. I can't talk right now.
Wow.
People love to try to hit it really, really hard. And
that's crazy.
It's right next to like a Hertz where there's like a bunch of trucks. And one day I just hope to God someone fucks it up and just goes right into the vans. I think that'd be awesome. I want them to survive, obviously, but
of course.
Yeah.
Obvious. That goes without
obviously
saying.
I don't want them to die. I just want everyone to be able to go after. I think that'd be great. All right, Noah, your turn. You and her are on the same vibe with this comedy thing. What are you doing? Why are you getting up there telling jokes?
Why am I? Well,
why?
Well, what do you mean?
Why are you doing it?
Why am I doing it? Well, I started because of Kill Tony. Like that was like literally the start. Because, and I'll bring it all the way back to when we were. I'll bring it all the way back. I think like even though people might not think so, like I think guys like Joe Rogan and Tony Hinchcliffe do really care about comedy, because he wouldn't be doing an open mic where he's having to actually listen to some really bad minutes and like talk to some weird people. And like, and he's giving some actual like opportunities where like they're on the secret show, or like they can like go on stage with him or like open for him or something like that if they're good. And same with Joe, like he made a comedy club where like,
oh yeah,
like so many people are actually going there because they like it so much. Like no other comedians with a lot of money will be like, I'm going to do that. They'll just take it for themselves because they'll be like, I worked this hard. Like fucking you do it now.
And like to add to your point about the comedy mothership, it's like Joe Rogan puts so much into the comedians. Like every comedian that does it talks about how the pay is so much different than anywhere else they perform. And also it's like every single person, as far as I understand, like that works there also for the most part does comedy. And I think that that's pretty
They're
common
not actually
in
allowed to
clubs.
work there if they don't.
Oh, so
it's
exactly.
kind of like I think you audition there. So everybody who's worked there is, I think there's some positions maybe you don't have to, like if you work the ticket booth or something like that. But I would say most of the people that work there, because there's a crew show every Sunday. Like it's on the thing. That's what they do on Sundays, is you get to watch the crew do their stuff.
Yeah, so it's just like prioritizing the crew. You know, it's like the thing that they also love is comedy. So it's like,
and that alone is great because then it helps progress everyone. Being around other good comics is just good for people. Like the rub and all that.
Yeah, I think maybe it's important to say too, I don't necessarily think that either of them are the quote unquote problem with it. I think they're in the position where it falls to them because the way the system is set up, the way social media works and that type of thing. Tony just wants to make a good show. That's very clear. And you've watched how the show has had to change as the technology changes. And it's just created inadvertently where we're at now, where all these people will fly all over the place to run over and do their minute, hoping that they'll become Cam Patterson, right? And you look at like a Cam Patterson, he's very funny, but like he's on the show for a very particular reason. That's why he got picked as a regular over other people. Is Tony making that decision actively trying to hurt comedy? No. Do I think overall it hurts comedy? Yeah, that's the thing. That's where anytime you try to build something, there's unintended consequences. Same thing with the way Joe's doing all of his stuff. He likes his particular thing. He wants his friends to be around, and that's fine. But that's just one style of thing, and it's so powerful. He's such a powerful figure now that it's turning the whole thing a certain way. I would say podcasting in general is also very hurtful to comedy in general. The fact that you have to see these comedians all the time hurts their actual acts. Doesn't mean they're not funny people. Doesn't mean you don't like watching them week to week. I can't wait to hear your rebuttal on this. Well, but I do think so. And because I think I look at what the stand-up is what I think it's supposed to be at the highest level. I think it's just different what you think it's supposed to be. I think that's where the rubber hits the road. Go ahead.
But I kind of think what Joe Rogan is doing is the dream, though, where it's like when I thought about doing comedy, it's like this podcast that we're doing here for like the 45 people who are going to watch it. Like that's what I wanted to do. Is it's like I want to do comedy. I want to go and try to do whatever I want to go there to do that day. And I want to find the people that I like, that I think are funny, and that I do want to spend time with. You know, and you've talked about this too. And like we've talked about maybe shows or whatever where it's like, yeah, I want to I don't, and maybe it's because I'm a parent, you know, but it's like I don't really get to experience a lot of hang. So it's like the podcast is like a hang for me.
Oh, yeah.
And so it's like, yeah, you want to like go find we all think that we're funny people that get into comedy, and you want to go find other funny friends and like just talk about stuff and like get to know each other and just shoot the shit and have a good time most of the time. So it's like, I will never fault Joe Rogan that's what he's like. He's living the dream where it's like he has on whoever it is that he wants to have on, that he wants to have a conversation with. He promotes his friends that he thinks are funny. And I think that that's dope because, you know, I'm sure other people promote their friends that aren't funny, you know? So it's just like, I appreciate that about him. And it's like, and it's worked for him. And the comedy club, I think, is another extension of him, like trying to put into comedy. So I don't think that we can like say, oh, the podcast, the guy, like these certain guys are ruining it or whatever. And I think too, like to your point about Kill Tony, how it started out where it's like, it was genuinely like maybe 10 guys put their name in a hat and then they pulled it and that was what it was. Where it started, I think that was only, the only intentions for it are good for comedy. And I'm never going to fault somebody for like, this is, they didn't get handed like a pristine comedy scene, so it's like they're capitalizing on the thing that is having them stand out, which is having them, be able to afford their lifestyle that they want to have and that they can continue to do comedy. So it's like, yes, I do think that Kill Tony has gotten closer to like the WWE experience, which I was never a wrestling fan. Sorry to, disappoint everybody, but like, so that's not necessarily the thing for me. But yeah, so I don't know. I'm never going to fault those guys for like what they're doing. Cause it's like, yeah, that's what you want to do. You want to go hang out with the guys that you want to go hang out with and be funny and be silly and maybe be offensive, but it's like, it's not supposed to be offensive here. Cause this is,
So how do you feel about like Jesselnick and like the people that do go after Rogan and what he's up to?
For me, I feel very weird. So it's like, again, and this is the thing for me.
And I would say, I don't know that I agree with everything Jesselnick says, but I also don't think he's wrong. I think all things are existing at the same time.
That's how I feel. So, and on top of that too, I'm not this person who has strong opinions on most things. Comedy is like one of the only things I have like strong opinions about. So it's like, I don't fault Jesselnick either. I don't fault him. And he has, and you know what's dope? I like that he has his opinion and he sticks to it. That's all I care about. I feel very strongly that it's like, maybe I didn't, and to be fair, I didn't love Jesselnick's most recent special. It wasn't my favorite of his specials.
Right.
I think that he's a tremendous comedian. I like him a lot. But I do feel like there's comedy, there is something for everybody. And it's like, maybe I'm just not a part of their audience right now. Like I felt very strongly about Kill Tony, and since Skankfest, I haven't watched any episode, which is a lie. I watched the last one, obviously, well, not the last one, but 2 that came out with Shane Gillis. Obviously, I'm going to watch that one. I just haven't watched it, and it's just like, maybe I'm not a part of their audience right now. Maybe like what they're putting out for me is just not for me right now. And I feel very like, that's okay, And so it's like, I really gravitate towards comedians that I think are authentic. And I think that Jesselnick is authentic. And so it's like, I like that he has an opinion and he stands in it. And it's the same thing where Joe Rogan, well, not the same thing. It's similar to the fact that Joe Rogan has strong opinions and he's going to stand on it and start the whole beef with, Mencia all those years ago. So it's like, I like people who I think are authentic. And so if they have conflicting opinions, that's okay. Cause for me, it's like, in my head, would I love to be friends with these guys? Obviously. Is that going to happen? Probably not. So I'm not going to put myself in a weird hypothetical where it's like, I got to pick between my friends. It's like, no, I can watch everybody.
Yeah.
And it's going to be, it's like my opinion doesn't really count yet. So that's all.
And what do you guys think?
Yeah.
As we wrap this thing up,
Your opinion counts.
Yeah. We need the engagement. And it's nice that we got a good little disagreement going here. I think there's a lot of...
Are we disagreeing?
Friendly. I think so.
I don't think we're disagreeing.
I think so.
Okay, what were you saying then?
No. I just think... I think what you like about comedy and what you're going for, I don't think is good for comedy. But doesn't mean
we disagree.
Doesn't mean you're not supposed to like it.
Tell us
Doesn't
below.
mean you're not supposed to like it. And I would want it to still exist. I just also want to see other things happening.
Sure.
Personally.
Who doesn't also want to see other things happening? Both can be true.
I want to see other things succeeding as much as I'm seeing the Kill Tony thing succeed.
Yeah, same. Absolutely. I see, that's what's complicated. I don't know that we actually disagree on it. I would also like to see those things.
Okay. I think you're just being nice to everybody. And I'm
not being nice to everybody.
I very much want to be like, no, some things that are happening are genuinely not good. They're not good for it. See? That's
what
why
are the
we're
things
disagreeing.
that are genuinely happening that are not good? Please let me know below, because I thought I understood, but I don't. That's the story of my life.
I'm very much excited that both of you are giving me this look.
We're not giving. Well, you just don't have cool sunglasses. You didn't get cool sunglasses for the whole team when you went to Seattle.
No, I wish I could.
That would have been really cool.
Oh man, these are expensive. They're really expensive sunglasses. So
that's crazy.
I would have. I know they're ridiculous. They're not worth it.
Did you put the stickers on, or
that's how they come?
Yeah,
that is how they come.
That's cool.
They don't. I don't know. I haven't used them as sunglasses, but
so what do you use?
Like I haven't used them outside yet. This is the first time I've worn them. I bought them and going like, oh, they're on sale. I'm going to buy these. And they were so ridiculous on sale.
Mm-hmm.
But
I got to get these.
We got to get them. And I still love both you guys very much, even though I do think.
I don't even think we're disagreeing. But if we're disagreeing, you tell me.
You let us know.
Someone explain to me our conversation because I don't know it.
Do you have something to say, Noah? I only asked because you look like you're about to say something.
I just think it's just based off styles of comedy.
Yeah.
I think the Kill Tony thing, no one in the world has ever had to see people have to write a new minute every week. It's unfair to make them to like think that they should be funny every week. It's just so impossible. And then the Joe Rogan thing, like people hearing them on the podcast, like that's also like in my opinion, it's a style thing where like if you want, like I think Bert Kreischer, like it works with his style because you're always hearing about his family and stuff, and like then when you hear his special, it's kind of just like an add-on but more funny, or supposed to be more funny. But I could go on forever. So
yeah, and me and Noah are right, and Jared is wrong, I guess, because we're not on the same page, which I thought we were on the same page. So somebody below, tell us who's right and who's wrong.
Or just where you sit on it. I do think we're on different sides of the fence on it a little bit.
I don't understand the fence.
That's even greater. That's more fun. That's
I don't know what I'm arguing. I just want to do it.
All right, guys. Well, like, comment, subscribe. We'll be back soon.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye. We love you. No.